based on the guidelines given, then that in general we can call that as a flow control. So here the TCP, that flow control is being initiated by the TCP. That's why it's called TCP flow control. Just a minute. Yeah, recording started. TCP flow control. The fundamental operation performed in the flow control. Receiver controls the sender, so sender won't overflow receiver's buffer by transmitting too much too fast. The meaning here is that, which is connected with the earlier discussion, how a packet is moving from one source to the destination. As per the RDT 3.0, the packet is repeating with the maximum number of capital N is a window size. That means that many number of packets can be transmitted simultaneously, in the sense without receiving any acknowledgement, the packet can be transmitted from the sender to the receiver side. But please hold on. Yeah. So during that time we discussed, when a packet sent, receiver receives, receiver will send acknowledgement. When the acknowledgement happens, if the acknowledgement was not received by the sender, then immediately sender will assume that, oh, there was a packet loss based on the ID of the packet. That particular packet will be resent. So this process already we discussed. If this process is initiated multiple times, knowingly or unknowingly, even the acknowledgement also may be received, not received, packet successful communicated, but acknowledgement failed due to multiple conditions. Sender may pre-assume that the communication failed, keeping in mind that it will retransmit more. So that's the meaning of the buffer transmitting too much and too fast. And the data rate, at what rate the reader wants to read information. For example, in YouTube, you may see that there is a provision to select the resolution option. So the resolution, if we select manually, there is an option is called auto resolution. Whenever we keep the auto resolution, at what rate the data frames, if it is received for that particular networked environment, if it is detected, that will be sent to the sender to make sure that the sender also can send only up to that rate, like that. So some way or other, there is some synchronization between sender side and receiver side, making sure that both communication has to happen successfully. There should not be any loss in a packet by increasing the speed, transmission speed, or reducing the transmission speed whenever required. So this is the general fund operation of the flow control. So you can see it's graphically is written over here. The application in application layer, it is initiating. Then the TCP socket receiver buffer in the sense it is the because each and every node will act as the both transmitter and receiver. It will have some information about at what rate the receiver is receiving the packet, that it will get updated over here. Accordingly, it will tune itself by it is changing, because the transportation mechanism only can make all the arrangements at what rate it has to go and all those. So the TCP has a very important role, especially in our computer networks. Slower than the TCP receiver is delivering. So here, if there is any transmission side or a reception side, if there is a slow at rate, it is actually capturing or receiving packet, means that is being sensed over here. The buffer also will fill the value and it will make adjustment in that transmission rate. So TCP. So this is the way how according to the receiver side, at what rate packet can be received. Accordingly, the sender is controlling its flow. So that's why it's named as a flow control happened at the TCP layer. Okay. So TCP flow control here. So this is called an application layer. Free buffer space. TCP segment payload. Payload in the sense is actually our data will be there in as a segment, as a part of the total segment. Already we studied about the structure of that. Receiver advertises a free buffer space by including RWND value in TCP header. I will talk about that. This is the RWND. It's a window, how much amount of buffer space is available. This data is actually being sent. So the receiver advertises to sender. So there is a communication between before sending the information from source to the destination. The receiver is also, it's ready to receive something. That's the meaning. So its communication or connection is being established already, assume in that sense. So it will advertise, yes, I have connected with this network. I am ready to receive this much amount of a buffer. I'm having currently the freely this much amount of buffer space is available. So it will broadcast. Broadcast in the sense it will send the information to all whoever got connected with that network. That's the meaning, including RWND. RWND value. This is the free buffer space variable in TCP header. In TCP header, where we have discussed earlier, actually this RWND will talk about this. And receive buffer size set via socket options. This receiver buffer size can be set as to the maximum 4096. That means a 4 MB. 4 MB is a buffer size. Approximately is 496 means 4 MB. Bytes, no? So 4 KB. If it is a 4096 kilobyte, then it is called MB. 4096 KB. 4 KB. It is approximately equal to 4 KB. Okay. Many operating systems auto adjust the receiver buffer. So this operation, who is handling this? The operating system. No, here have you noticed this? This application in the bottom side is actually called operating system. The operating system only which is handling all the OSA layers of the computer networks. So the OS is fixing in certain operating system its fixed value. In some of the operating system, it's variable. So depends on the scenario, it will adjust. So some of the operating system, if we know some of the programs which is called as a API, application programming interface, some modules we can access through, if we are writing a code by using a C or C++ or any of the languages, we can access the operating system routines. Operating system is nothing but it's a program, it's a set of programs which will have assume that thousands of functions are running. Whenever as a user, if we want to access that function, we can also call the function. So for that, we must be aware how to call that function. So for that, there are some templates, even API programming, you can explore that. If you are developing an application by using a Windows, Microsoft Visual Studio, VC++, Visual C++ is generally it is used to develop the applications, especially Windows based. Nowadays they follow .NET framework. .NET is one framework. Using that framework, which has multiple provisions like in programming codes, Visual Basic. So it is named as the VB.NET. Then there is another programming language called C#.NET. Then VB, C#, even VC++.NET is also available. Visual C++. Then ASP, Active Server Pages. If you want to create a server applications. Before .NET, it was named as a ASP, Active Server Pages. We can create a Windows-based client server applications. So currently it's in a ASP.NET, like multiple applications. For that, we can have Visual Studio. That Visual Studio, if you want to use that for application development, actually for a institution level, it may have a student licensing and many things are there, but it's a commercially we need to pay if you want to develop applications. But when it goes for, if you go for a Java based and all, no, there are free versions are available. Even many industries they are working on a major coding part by using Eclipse is one of the tool, and NetBeans is another IDE tool. Like plenty of tools are available. So now the Python is also coming. Since the Python is the scripting language, it always need a support from some of the base language like a C, C++ and all those. So that's the idea. Why I'm saying all those things is that all these buffer control parameters can be controlled through our programming skill. If we are good in by actually we have to see this one as like okay, we are opening the computer, and when we see things that are inside a operating system, if we visualize functionally, then we can get all the idea. Okay, sender limits the amount of unacknowledged in-flight data to receiver's RWND value. So what is the value of RWND? Free buffer space, no? How much amount of buffer space is there? Based on that, because receiver says I'm having only this many number of space. Buffer space is nothing but how many number of packets can be kept for a processing in a pipeline processing that space. So accordingly, it will limit the sender. So this is called a flow control. So it is guaranteeing that there is no overflow in the receiver. Yeah. So this is about the flow control. The next one is connection management. Before exchanging data, sender or receiver handshakes. So it will do a communication between sender, which already we discussed as a conceptually during the introduction time. It is given as a application perspective. Before exchanging data, sender receives the handshakes and handshake message. Then it will get an acknowledgement. Based on that, it will start sending the information. Agree to establish the connection. Yes, the receiver, if it is agrees, yes, I'm ready to receive your request. After that, only the communication will establish. So this is called a connection. Whether the receiver is ready to accept our query or not, without knowing that, if we send something, if we say something, if we communicate, we may think that yes, we have communicated, but a person in the other end, if they didn't receive our request, then what we can expect. So it's a better practice in the connection establishment is very, very important. Linked in. So connection establishment. Okay. Before sending any request to anyone, so we have to be ready. We have to ensure that yes, a person, those who are in other end, they are accepting our request or something. Okay, it is in our day-to-day life practice only. Okay, agree on connection parameters. Okay, so some of the information related to that I will talk about here. Yeah. So it's when we create application, the connection state established. So now it is connection state is given, establishment, connection variables, sequence, client to server, server to client, receiver buffer size at server and client. Okay. So then it's network layer. So this may be in a transport layer. Now it is coming to this is an application layer at the transport layer. So what we see here, which is when we write the same thing in the code, we can define like this: socket is equal to client socket is equal to new socket, host name. All these things already you have done it. So the same thing when we write a code in a by using either Python code or Java or any other programming code which is having a libraries which will be used for establishing a connection. It will do a background operations as we discussed here. Okay. So then here socket, connection socket, welcome socket.accept. So there is a function. So from the as a layman level, when we see from the statement, from the word accept, we can understand that, okay, the receiver is ready to accept the request. But what is the scene behind that? So the scene is actually nothing but what we had discussed in the transport layer. No, that is the content actually is being executed in backend. So it is not that much easy because we are working on a platform. The meaning of a platform already we discussed in the previous sessions. All the transaction happens on the top of a platform. What is the meaning of platform? Platform means the operating system combined with the microprocessor, both together. So the platform is the responsible for doing all these transactions. So OS, Windows, Linux, Macintosh, whatever. So the OS, all these things will have all OSI layers, routines. So when we call a function, corresponding internal pre-installed routines will be called. That's called the device driver programming or any other. When we connect with the external hardwares, some of the software is getting installed into that. So what program has been written over there? It's nothing but it is interacting with the operating system and it is communicating in a way that yes, the client wants this way and the operating system has to respond in this way, like that. The code has been written for that. So keep this in mind. Always we have to localize whenever you think about any data or communication network, any packet or any information, it's sent from one place to the another place. As per the OSI layer, currently where we are, if we localize that correctly, then it is very easy to communicate, okay, what is to be written. If you are a end user, then how you have to behave. If you are a developer, how you have to behave. What are the things you need it. Okay, what are the tools are required. By using which programming tool I can access that. So to do a same operation like a painting operation, no, at home. Many actually fundamental operation we want to do a painting at inside a home. Okay, how many tools are there? There are multiple tools. Yeah, there are rollers are available, the brushes are available, all are tools. Like different brands, Asian Paints are there, Nippon Paints are there, all are different product. Like that, a concept is that networking, to do a networking, that means your data has to be sent from source to the destination. To do that communication, to establish this, to develop this, n number of tools are available. We can use whichever things we are comfortable. So some of the tools we may feel that, oh, it is good because it may have the good history, which is developed by based on the Microsoft product, that especially the industrial based, like in the sense because they used to do a work very faster, in the sense the production cycle has to be reduced. Always the industry they will be very much keen on, and quality aspect also. So application development for a product level development, people because the backend support also may be available, they used to prefer the Microsoft based products. Support they can get it. But for a developer level, I want to learn things, new innovative logics for new logic development. Even for a learning and research to do that, I don't have a much fund to do that. I can go for the Linux based or open source based and many things. Both can do the same operation. All the networking related operations can be performed. So when we are coming into a product level, delivery level, or a product selling to that level, then we can choose according to our requirement. So that's the idea. Agreeing to establish a connection. So which already discussed. Yeah. So a two-way handshake. So it is the request is being initiated, and ESTAB, establishment, it's actually is the connection establishment request has been received. Based on that, yes, it is replying back, yes, established, okay. Then positive reply, will two-way handshake always work in a network? That's a question. So variable delay. So there may be a multiple delay. Retransmitted message, example, request connection due to the message loss. Some request has been initiated, but acknowledgement has been was replied positively, but there was a error in the acknowledgement to the sender side. Then what will happen? So if no acknowledgement has been received, once again it will send resending the request, which already we discussed. Okay. So agreeing to establish the connection, a two-way handshake failure scenario. So now we are discussing about what are the failure scenarios. So this is the first, because already we discussed the same thing in a fundamental side. I'm moving a little bit faster here. If you're having doubts, please stop me here. And send the chooser X, sender, request the connection for X. This is the server. Established, that is a requirement. Yes, acknowledgement has been received. Then establishment is green signal is received, but the retransmit occurs, request, retransmission, request the connection. The same thing is being initiated once again. Why? Because as per this, there is a delay, which already we discussed, and the conceptually there in the case. But when you see as in a programming level, here, if the timeout time period, if it is exceeds certain amount, then automatically it will retransmit. So to understand this scenario only, we discussed in the earlier point about how the RDT works conceptually. So request connection, it is retransmitting. So already server gave a positive signal. but still it is a why the request is coming like that. The server may get a confusion like that. So this is the one scenario. The half open connection. So this is one scene. That another one is that choose X, send a request, establishment. There is a retransmit of the request. It is initiated. If it is initiated, the accept data X plus 1. So already we have sent a request for X. So next is actually it is communicating the accept data for X plus 1 like that. So choose X, request connection for X, get the acknowledgement for X, then retransmit request. It is initiated because it is got delayed. Now it is going to send the data for X plus 1. Once the establishment done, then it is accepting a data like that. Once again, if there is a delay, multiple times that it is getting delayed. So to demonstrate that, it is given here. Yeah. Now TCP three-way handshake. There is a one additional option is being initiated. This is from client side. Client, it is going to send another information is called sync sent, SYN, sync bit. Choose init sequence number. So sequence number has to be added. X, send TCP sync message. Sync bit is equal to 1. It means that it is requesting for a sync. Sequence number is called X. Okay. Choose init sequence number. Y, send the TCP sync acknowledgement with the message acknowledgement with the sync. So it for a sequence number, it is a sequence number X. The sync bit is requested. So for sync bit 1, it is acknowledgement bit is also 1. That means both are true. Yes, I am acknowledging for a sequence number for that. Acknowledgement number, the value which we have received now, plus 1. So it is sending back with this. Actually, it is sending another information also. Sequence Y is nothing but some acknowledgement is being sent. In addition to that, some additional message is also being sent for as a communication. In that sense, we can say. So received a sync acknowledgement indicates the server is live. Okay, server is start responding. Send acknowledgement for sync acknowledgement. This segment may contain client to server data. See, we discussed about the same thing multiple times. Just the representation is different. Please be aware of that. That's all. If you are clear within a foundation, what we discussed, understanding fundamentals of RDT part, same concept, it will come in a different location with the different labels or the scenario or application wise and that may be different. Okay, please be clear in that foundation part. Okay, so acknowledgement bit, acknowledgement of number 1 because server is sending the sequence Y now. For that, it is replying back as acknowledgement Y plus 1. So received acknowledgement Y indicates the client is also live. Okay, so server is also understanding, client is also understood that both are live correctly. This particular state is called, first initial state is called a listening state. The second one is called synchronization received state. Finally, connection is established state. Wherever you see ESTAB, behind that this many process is done. That's the meaning. Okay. TCP three-way handshake FSM. So what we discussed there, the same thing is written in the FSM finite state machine representation. A socket connection. Just a minute. Yeah, socket. Connection socket established. Welcome socket.accept. So this is initial state of starting, no? So this is input, this is output. So from where actually it has to start. So it is in a listening mode. This connection closed. There are states here. There is no starting point and ending point, whatever it. From where we start. So listening mode. So listening from the listening mode. If you start your initiation, sync SYNX, acknowledgement number which we have sent, sync received. When it is a sync received, this process, when it is reaching to this state, acknowledgement number plus Y1, then a connection established, or from the closed state to when it is starting, socket, port number, sequence number X, then sync sent, then acknowledgement with the reception of the acknowledgement reception. In addition to that, there is a sync sent. It is replying back. Sync is positive. Plus, it is adding some more information. For this message, the client also responding to the server. Yes, both they are getting understanding that yes, both are alive. So that is actually is demonstrated using the three-way handshake in FSM. Very important case whenever we go for a connection oriented applications, we have to ensure even in a program also, even Python program which you have written, they have mentioned that there is a connection dot close. We have to close the connection. The client server each close their side of connection by sending TCP segment with a fin bit. Fin means finished bit 1. Respond to the received fin back with acknowledgement on receiving fin acknowledgement. So both client server, they will come to know yes. Communication connection establishment which we have made, the agreement which we have made from the client to server, both is coming to end. So it will get updated. The connection from the source to the destination, all these things are over. Why it is very important? Sometimes when you go for a cyber security level of things, no, all these data normally it will be loaded in the some log file. When we do a connection establishment from source to the destination with some specific IP address, the data will be logged in the server and client. If somebody wants to trace, okay, from where, at what time, when the request has been initiated. Hope nowadays people are talking about different big scam and all many things. They used to identify all these things based on the log file, but the log file can be easily accessible. But as a general user, we may not be aware where it is available, how to modify, how to see that, how to clear it and all those things. But it is in general, it will be written in the operating system. In certain locations, all the log files will be there. So all these will be recorded in some way or other. It will be refreshed then and there. This is about the TCP connection close. Yeah. So what I have communicated, it is written in the form of the same diagram. The connection closing part is done. Sorry, here. Yeah, congestion control. Based on what we discussed here, no, we will discuss about some very important logical analysis, how congestion control with the different type of scenarios we'll discuss about in the next forthcoming class. Yeah. So most probably in the next class we may complete this chapter 3. Yes. So that's all about for today's class. Any queries, please let me know. Meanwhile, I will start sharing the attendance link.